Guys, it's your girl T, and I have another story that's once again coming from my third favorite state, ghetto ass Georgia. So what's going on now, Georgia, you ask? What's going on is that if you guys remember a few months ago, I had posted a picture on my fan page, and basically it was of this father. He had shaved his son's head. He basically said that his son was acting grown in class, not listening to the teacher, so he decided to give him a grown man haircut. Well, after he did that, the picture went viral. Other parents started asking him for the same haircut for their misbehaving kids, and now this story is being picked up by the mainstream media. I want you guys to go ahead and check out this story. The barber's name is Frederick, and he works at A-1 Kutz in Snellville, Georgia. So this story is really interesting. Go ahead and check it out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
This little boy is only 10 years old, but his haircut's supposed to make him look like an old man. Some say it looks like George Jefferson from the 70s sitcom The Jeffersons. Others say it's more like Benjamin Button from the Brad Pitt movie. It all started with a barber with a dilemma.
I did a cut on my son a couple of months ago when he was acting up in school. And I told him I'd get more creative with the cut.
Russell Frederick is a co-owner of A-1 Kutz on Scenic Highway in Snellville. He told us he came up with the idea of the bad haircut when his son was misbehaving. He believes it's an effective alternative to corporal punishment.
You got to be creative with your discipline. You can't touch them for fear of the police and law enforcement getting involved. I don't whip my kids, so it's just like that was the way I chose to discipline him at the time.
After he gave his son the cut, Frederick says a customer approached him to give her son the cut for misbehaving. This is the result. Customers and parents we spoke with say they like the idea.
With all the backlash with corporal punishment and everything going on, it's kind of like taking a lot of the power away from parents.
I think that's fitting, you know, rather than them beating the kid and abusing them. I'm pretty sure he'll behave himself right now. And
Frederick says he's already seen results.
My son, his grades came up dramatically. Because he doesn't want that cut. I think it worked very well.
So you want the haircut?
At the local barbershop, it's all the buzz.
I can't believe you ain't see it yet, the picture. What you think about the haircut?
An old man haircut, designed instead for kids acting out.
Oh my God, that's going to be embarrassing for a child.
Donna Bird's 10-year-old son, Cameron,
so you want the haircut?
Isn't getting the so-called George Jefferson cut.
This one?
But she'd be on board if he starts to misbehave at home.
I can see the embarrassment factor of it, of them going to school looking like an old man, and they won't want to do that again.
You misbehaving in school?
The whole thing began with the owner's son, who started slipping in the classroom. So co-owner Russell Frederick pulled out his scissors, and voila. Needless to say, his son was a little bummed.
People care about their appearance, so if you take that away, I figured he would listen, and he did.
It kind of started a movement.
What he did? That went viral?
A hair-raising experiment that just took off.
Well, that's the one. And it just went crazy, viral.
It has its share of support.
It's a good form of discipline, I think. You have to do something different these days.
And some who say it goes way too far. But Russell isn't cutting it off or cutting it out. He says it works.
You have to reach them before they get to the point where the law enforcement has to be the one to discipline them or punish them. So that's mainly our goal.
Alright, so you guys just checked out that news story. And so a lot of people are divided for some strange reason with this situation. A lot of folks are saying that it's not okay that he's humiliating children and that these children will be emotionally scarred. One man even compared this situation to the uncle who had whooped his son on camera. To me, this is two totally different situations. He's not beating his child. And I understand why parents are going to this extreme, because it's like nowadays it's so hard to discipline your kids. It's like as soon as you hit on them and they decide to call the police and somebody hears about it, you can go to jail, you can lose your job. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen to parents nowadays for disciplining their children. So parents are trying to find creative means. And you know what? I can't knock this father. If giving his son a Benjamin Button style haircut made his son turn himself around and start doing the right thing in class, then kudos to the father. At least he's there in his son's life. At least he's showing that he cares about his son and he cares about his son's education. So I don't understand why people are knocking the father. Like he stated, he only wore the haircut for a few days, and then after that, he shaved his head. When he started acting right, he gave him a regular hairstyle. So I don't see nothing wrong with this. I do think it's cool to punish kids, with things that they like. And I know with me being a mom of boys, they love their haircuts. They love their mohawks and their styles and having their names etched in their head and designs. And when my kids act up and they don't listen, they don't get those cool haircuts. So it's definitely a good way to punish them. You know, you didn't get good grades this semester, or you were acting up, well, you know what, you're going to get a regular box fade. I think this Benjamin Button style hairstyle is just funny to me. I think it's a good thing that the father is doing that. He's trying to find alternatives to disciplining his son without having to physically abuse him or beat him. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that folks want to question his integrity and say that it's not cool what he's doing, but then in the same breath, we'll give people props for beating their kids on World Star Hip Hop. You know, I don't really see his son being bullied. I see his son doing the right thing and, you know, focusing in class and doing what he's supposed to do. So I say kudos to the father. I do not disagree with his disciplining methods. And if other parents are going to go get these haircuts and they're saying that it's making their kids, you know, do better, you know what I'm saying, do the right thing in class, not be disruptive, then I'm all for it. Because at the end of the day, it's not fair for one child to disrupt everybody else's learning environment. So if these haircuts are helping to keep these little boys in line, then I'm all for it. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire ghetto-ass story that's once again coming from our third favorite state, ghetto-ass Georgia. Do you feel like this haircut is humiliating and this is some form of child abuse? Or do you feel like Russell Frederick is doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying, by trying to step up and figure out an alternative way of disciplining his son? So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. All right, deuces.